Hi everyone, this is a listing for a 1997 Honda Civic Dx hatchback. This model is a 5-speed with 220,000 miles, give or take. I don't know how many owners. I've owned this since April 2014. It's a clean title. There has never been a collision in this car. There's no flood damage. To my knowledge, I do not believe that this has ever been curbed. All the lines are pretty straight. Every body part and glass piece on this vehicle is original to 1997, an exception to the front bumper, which I replaced due to exceptional paint fade. It is in pretty decent condition. There are lots and lots of dings on it. It's not that bad. There are dings. You can see them. I'm very honest with this. There's dings on the side. That's probably the worst part. I don't know if you can see that. I just cleaned it, but I did a poor job of drying it, and therefore there are spots everywhere. But the paint has definitely seen its days. It's not too bad, and in my opinion, I genuinely enjoyed having a vehicle with paint fade because it gave it character. I think this would look great though with the respray. There's some faded paint right here. It's not too bad. I did manage to wax this pretty frequently over the 4 years that I've owned it. I spent an exceptional amount of time ensuring that the drivetrain, the transmission, the underbody, anything that had to do with the vehicle moving, tires, wheels, brakes, axles, I probably said that, my knuckles, my hubs, steering rack, and suspension bushing components were replaced with OEM Honda parts, except for some bushings they use energy suspension. This thing drives phenomenal. Unfortunately, the engine is at its last limb. I'm currently leaking coolant from my reservoir, and I do believe that the head gasket is blown. So I'm selling this as a, it runs right now, but the near future it probably will not run. So this engine's no good. It does drive for now, and it doesn't overheat here. It overheats here and there, but the engine's no good. I feel that a head gasket would do wonders to this car. A head gasket, a timing belt, a water pump. I actually had nothing. I didn't want to do anything with the engine because I plan to put a Type R in here, a B series swap. Get your rear, some angles right here. There's a VIN. This vehicle was stolen and recovered during my ownership, and I believe that is the only time it's been stolen ever. The steering column was broke, so I went ahead and replaced the steering rack, all of the steering component bushings with energy suspension, along with OEM inner and outer tie rods. Full steering column from OEM Honda, from Majestic, as a matter of fact. Went with a NRG low hub and a quick release, along with a personal steering wheel. This was professionally done. I've went through alignment and balancing on this car more than I've done on any vehicle I've ever owned, and that was due to the fact that I love this car, and this car is still really beautiful to me. It's not perfect. There are stains here and there, but overall the seats are really decent. These seats are from an Integra, I believe a GSR, an earlier one, and they're beautiful. They're in pretty decent condition. That's how they lie right now. A little bit of bolster fade, but they still work great. Lumbar support right here still functions. They had to be mounted in custom, as you know that Integra seats do not mount fully all of their locking lugs, so I had to modify mine. And they're using OEM quality grade 10.10 steel bolts. This will be safe in a collision. Let's take another look at these wheels on the outside so you can see. All tires are brand new with Continental Extreme Contact Sport. They're all professionally balanced. Every single wheel has a custom hub-centric ring that I got from a place in Tempe, Arizona. They do phenomenal work. All of these lugs are Gorilla locking lugs, full complete OEM ball set. All the tires are balanced in perfect. My brother-in-law works at Discount Tire and is always taking care of my rotations and such. I think I have about 2,000 or 3,000 miles on these tires. The brakes were changed about a year ago. There is still lots and lots of meat on these guys. I only use this as a highway vehicle for the past 4 years. It started off with 188,000 miles. Now this has 220,000. And as you can see, I replaced it with a Civic EX, a little bit higher model gauge cluster due to it having a tachometer right here. But I did retain, this is from the Civic Dx original vehicle. It's the original cluster that came with this car. I just swapped it during the replacement to keep my miles original. This is a great car. It's very clean. I'm very tedious when it comes to detailing. All of the door seals have been detailed at least twice a year and re-lubricated because they do not like wind noise. The seats function, they go forward. All the seat belts work in the rear. Let's see here, let me pull this other key out. Since the vehicle was stolen, I forgot I replaced the ignition, full ignition assembly with the proper brake bolts. Everything is properly done. This car is not a cheapy eBay vehicle taken care of by some teenage kid. I'm a 30-year-old man, and I take care of what I love. Let's get some views. The wing. I actually have a modification to slightly increase the height of it. It changes the perspective of the wing a little bit. Just my own personal preference. Obviously, there's a lot that can be changed. OEM carpets, Civic. This side also has the proper locking to be on the safe side. The OEM original shift knob. It has a Skunk 2-short shifter. Password JDM. Password JDM shift boot. Pretty decent condition. These rugs are still pretty damn nice. This side's got a little bit of fade just from driving all the years that I have. It's got some really nice JBL speakers, 6.5s in the back. It's got some Kicker CS series 6x9s in the rear. They sound actually great with this with the setup. It's all in stock wiring as well. Throughout the vehicle, all 3 doors, including the hatch, have butyl sound treatment, above and sound dampening. And in addition to that, I've also used some frost keying in various places, some other foams to stop noise. The speakers do get some frequencies that are pretty low, so this is the engine. Pretty well taken care of. As you can see, there's some coolant residue right there from becoming too hot, unfortunately spraying out, which I think is due to a head gasket leak, and there may be combustion gases getting into the coolant system, therefore spewing gas out. Now, additional things to be known about this engine: I've replaced all the engine mounts. This has a brand new clutch, a resurfaced OEM flywheel. It has a new fork, OEM fork. The slave is original, but the brake master cylinder has been, the clutch master cylinder has been replaced, fully flushed. The brakes have been fully flushed. I've changed oil on this car so many times. I have quite a bit of receipts, but I don't have completely everything. As you can see though, I've used OEM parts. When I first purchased the car, I think twice now, I've replaced it with an OEM spark plug, or just an indicate copper, along with OEM cap and rotor from Honda. This does have TN suspension on it. The top hat's rebuilt with energy suspension on all four corners. I wanted to retain a very nice smooth ride, but give it a sporty feel. It's going to be hard to see, but yes, I put some TN suspension in there. Keep the thread of the tires nice and thick. Let me get tread rather, sorry. I think that's about it for the outside. We can go for a drive. Show you how this vehicle drives for a moment. Sorry for the blurriness. I'm moving around. Okay, let's get this going up. All the wheel wells were also detailed every time I washed the car. I detailed all the trims, but actually I locked my car out a couple of times, unfortunately. There's some scratches from AAA helping me out. Unfortunate, but that's alright. It's really not that bad. There's another VIN. All of the windows also have the original Honda, including the VIN, which is very hard to see in this lighting. So let's just take it for a drive. The windshield is cracked. It's not too bad. It's not in front of my driving view, so I just haven't replaced it. It's a new OEM window, rear view mirror. I have two brand new OEM Honda sun visors. The clips are all nice and tidy. Everything works. Everything functions. Sorry. The hood latch. It is a metal replacement that matches the OEM Honda. And I replaced it because the original broke. They work great. This does not have the window washer assembly. I removed that for some weight loss. JDM, yo. That sticker can be removed. The emblems are still there, hanging on. The rear window wiper is moved. I have a plug from Password JDM. Nothing special. All the exhaust is OEM Honda. There's no vibrations in it. I think I have a rock in the muffler though. That kind of makes a little noise when I start it in the morning, or when it hits a certain RPM, but that's not a big deal. The exhaust manifold was replaced as well. I think the second year in I own this vehicle, and that was due to the notorious exhaust manifold check engine light, which still returns every 6 months or so. But again, I was saving for a B series swap on this car. This car was not meant to be just you know, I'm trying to keep a single cam in here. There's no air conditioning, unfortunately, but everything does function. I just recently lost the, I'm not sure, I guess it was pressure, whatnot. The clutch still engages. I do notice that the AC, high pressure and low pressure valves, upon opening the cap, releases some pressure, so it does need to be maintained, or maintenanced, I'm sorry. Everything looks good. The radio, I got a CD in there right now. Works fine. Works great, actually. All the windows function. The mirrors function as well. Both sides. The locks work. It's not bad for a 1997, over a 21-year-old car. As you can see, it started, it's running. Idling a little low. That's pretty normal. I have my foot on the clutch right now too, and that's about normal. I have low gas right now. It's not overheating. I'll take it for a drive so you know that this drives, functions. There's no funky noises or anything, because there isn't. This car drives amazing. I have the short shifter on here. Also have energy suspension shifter bushings on here to keep it a nice stiff feel. This car drives great. Now, when I said I spent a lot of time on suspension, chassis, bushing components, and braking, wheels and tires, I meant it. I like a nice, smooth driving highway vehicle. I did not like the fact that when I was a younger kid, most Hondas that I got into drove terrible when you got on the highway, and that was just due to a lack of maintenance. I wanted to stay on top of this. There's MTF manual transmission fluid that was flushed during the replacement of the clutch and the flywheel. Along with that, there's 2 brand new Napa quality US made axles. No clicking. They sound great. I think I'm on 2 years now on both of them, which is pretty great. Everything feels nice on this car. There's no broken engine mounts. There's no broken bushings, suspension bushings, or anything like that. Sounds really nice. It's actually really quiet. I think it drives great with this car. It's just the unfortunate situation. I live in Arizona, and there is no air conditioning in this car. It's not summer yet. It's actually really nice out, so it's all good. We'll get on the highway right here and just drive it out so you guys can see how smooth it drives. By the way, I'm not a dealership or anything. It's a private sale, so pardon my stutters in between the video. I haven't made a video like this in quite a while. I haven't had to sell a vehicle. Picks up still pretty good, even with the head gasket that's no good. Drives nice and fine. Rear view mirror works. A little dangerous what I'm doing here, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. On the highway, get 80. Get going to about 80. Get in the fast lane, just cruise. I'll hold it a little bit better so you can see it's not shaking. It's just my hands. Alright. As you can see, it's a nice smooth feel. Car's not vibrating. Sound quality is pretty decent in here. I mean, like I said, I did a lot of sound dampening. Oh yes, obviously, I think earlier you guys may have seen that this is a custom headliner replacement. I had to do that just because the old one was falling apart. Did this in a professional manner using 3M adhesive, along with my choice of fabric from Joann's Fabric, or I think I actually got it at Michael's, which isn't too bad, but that's about it for the vehicle. I mean, I'm going 90 right now. It's driving nice and smooth. I'm only moving because it's hard to film and drive a vehicle in a very, very still manner. But this is it. This will be up on Craigslist, azhd.net, and Honda Tech. Also a couple other little local things I have